Tonight, E.T. takes a special look back at the stars we loved and lost in 2013. I'm Rob Marciano.
When things go bad in a car, man, it goes bad real fast.
The Fast and the Furious star Paul Walker, Glee's Cory Monteith, Mouseketeer Annette Funicello. Her unsurpassed courage right up to the very end. Plus,
there is no use denying illness.
Roger Ebert's inspirational fight, country star Mindy McCready's Demons, TV legend Bonnie Franklin and Gene Stapleton, The Sopranos' James Gandolfini, gone too soon.
Isn't that what you said one time? Try and remember the times that were good?
Tonight, E.T. celebrates the stars that made us laugh, cry, and sing.
Someday I'm gonna be free.
Now, Entertainment Tonight, the worldwide leader in entertainment news. E.T.'s special look back at the stars we lost in 2013. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Entertainment Tonight. Nancy O'Dell is off. This year, we said goodbye to award winners and classic favorites, but no death was more tragic and unexpected than the car crash that took the life of Fast and Furious star Paul Walker.
I'm an actor, remember?
That's right. Are you acting
I
now?
could smile.
Paul definitely could smile. He was not only handsome, but while E.T. was on the set of his breakthrough movie, the first Fast and Furious, we found him charming.
I don't know what it is.
This was back in 2000. Paul had already been to racing school and had to show his skills.
There's extras just about everywhere. And they had me fly out of there about 50 miles an hour, and it was really tight. Yeah, I was pretty nervous, but I got over it. No one was hit.
In a tragic irony, the actor told us what he learned about guys who race on the street.
If you do race, I guess wear your seatbelt and the helmet, because I hear when these guys get into car accidents, it's pretty gnarly, because I mean, they're usually at over 100 miles an hour.
3 minutes. Don't do this to me.
Sadly, the star's current film, Hours, finds Paul playing a heroic dad, struggling to save the life of his newborn during Hurricane Katrina. It made him think about raising his own daughter, Meadow.
Sometimes you fall flat on your face, and you get up again. And then they get a little bit older, and you ask them for forgiveness. And then you fall on your face again. You go, just be patient with me, please. This is my first time. I'm figuring this out.
The film's director, Eric Heiserer, told E.T. that Walker's daughter was on the set, which made filming emotional.
It was important to him to have her close. He had a tattoo of her name, and I saw the connection he had from that, and we agreed not to cover that up for the movie.
Paul acted most of his life, and he was shirtless in the 2006 movie 8 Below, a scene, he told us, that wasn't in the script.
I was kind of angry at first. I was like, how long ago did you guys decide you wanted to throw this in? At least I had somebody running out there with me.
But most people think of Paul as Brian O'Connor of the Fast and Furious. And just last summer, Paul spoke with Roxy Diaz on the bank of the River Thames and talked about his daughter's driving skills.
What would you
That's
do
really cool.
if you found out that your daughter was driving your car, daddy's car, the way you drive them in the movies?
I think she's going to be a hell of a driver. So, you know, so long as she can pull it off clean and doesn't get caught, I guess she'll be all right.
Charity was such an important part of Paul's life. You can still contribute in his memory to the charity he helped form, Reach Out Worldwide. Well, this year we also lost another beloved actor through tragic means. The life of Glee star Cory Monteith was cut far too short by a drug overdose.
Somebody find me.
At the heart of the show, it's not just about singing and dancing. It's about real people.
Our first interview with Cory, who passed away in July, was in 2009, 2 months before Glee's first broadcast. Already, sparks seemed to be flying between Cory and his eventual real-life girlfriend, Leah Michele.
You better shape up.
It's hysterically funny.
It's hysterically funny, and it's smart.
She is hysterically funny.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
You're the one that I want.
That same year, Cory invited us to his L.A. bachelor pad.
Come on into the house. Yeah, I guess sort of like to party. There's the indoor bar and there's the outdoor bar. Like to throw a lot of parties.
A sad irony because, as the world eventually learned, Cory was dealing with substance abuse demons.
You know what's funny is I don't even drink.
Cory had just moved from Vancouver, where he had worked a variety of jobs.
I used to be the Walmart people greeter. I was a taxi driver, telemarketer for a while. That wasn't very fun.
And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
From the moment in Glee's pilot when Mr. Schuester discovered Finn singing in the shower, Cory was a major star.
I'm ready for it.
Our final interview was last January. A lighthearted Cory was about to present at the Critics' Choice Awards.
I hope that the teleprompter comes up properly, and I hope I don't trip down the stairs.
But a few months later, Cory entered rehab, and following that, tragedy.
We do now have a cause of death. It involved heroin primarily and also alcohol.
Heroin and alcohol, a lethal cocktail from a night of partying. The coroner with tragic details from the toxicology report.
No evidence suggests this is anything other than the most sad and tragic accident.
The stunned reactions from frequent guest star Gwyneth Paltrow, quote, Cory was a sweet and talented man. My heart breaks for Leah and the entire Glee family. Other co-star tweets from Mark Salling, I'll love you always, brother Cory. And from Lauren Potter, Cory was always so nice to me. I have so many good memories.
I loved Finn.
The outpouring of love continued in October with Glee's tribute to Cory, capped by Leah's emotional performance.
No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.
Such a world away from our meeting when Cory first described Finn Hudson.
Innocent, yet brave, and ready to take on the world.
5 months after his death, Cory's presence is still missed on Glee. Cord Overstreet recently said Cory was the, quote, glue. While Cory's death was a tragic accident, our next star tragically took her own life. Country music star Mindy McCready's troubled life ended with a single gunshot.
And I can't think of one single reason why I should be hanging around.
Those lyrics sadly prophetic. Mindy found dead in February from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A shocking contrast with our first meeting.
How you doing?
The year 1997 at Nashville's Fanfare. Mindy's country music star on the rise.
It's quite different for me this year. Last year when I was here, 10,000 Angels, my first single had just come out.
I need 10,000 angels.
And this year I've had 4 great records come out on the radio, so the crowd is so much bigger for me. It's amazing. I'm just like sitting here, ah!
Mindy could savor her good fortune for several years, but starting in 2004 came a series of arrests and convictions. Then this. A seizure on celebrity rehab while going through detox in 2010.
She's having a seizure.
I remember almost nothing. I remember waking up and being in an excruciating amount of pain.
Mindy's life had been in total chaos. Her 2 children taken away by child services, 3 suicide attempts, one in 2005 with a note, quote, to everyone I love, I'm sorry. I know how selfish this seems, but I can't take any more pain.
Here we go again.
I was empty. There was nothing left.
But during our last interview with McCready in 2010, she seemed on the mend, ready to fulfill that promise she had shown us 13 years before.
I'm who everybody thought I was in the beginning. A girl that has morals and values and believes in family and making your dreams come true.
Sadly, that was never to be. In January, David Wilson, the father of her then 10-month-old son, was found shot to death on the same porch where Mindy would take her own life 1 month later.
I've always lived like tomorrow I might not have anything. Today I have everything, but tomorrow it might be gone.
You may be wondering what happened to the young children Mindy left behind. Well, her 7-year-old Xander lives with his father. Her 19-month-old Zane lives with Mindy's relatives. Still ahead, our final tribute to Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini. We'll also take you inside Annette Funicello's decades-long battle with MS. And we remember Archie's wife and America's favorite working mom. Stay with us. Please say hello to our ET fan of the day. That is Bianca Medina, who says she tunes in every evening on KRGV in Mission, Texas. Thanks for watching, Bianca.
This is it, this is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball.
That's a theme song every fan of classic 70s television knows and loves. E.T. was a frequent guest on the set of One Day at a Time, so our look back at the TV greats we lost this year begins with America's favorite working mom, Bonnie Franklin.
God, a lot of people think you're really a woman. If you are, how about rooting for our team?
We lost Bonnie in March after her battle with pancreatic cancer. Her TV daughter Valerie tweeted a photo and released this statement, quote, "The years on One Day at a Time were some of the happiest of my life. I will miss her terribly."
It's a good life. I mean, it's a good life.
This is it.
We first met Bonnie back in '81. She talked about fighting to make the scripts realistic for One Day at a Time, a sitcom about a single mom.
I used to scream and yell a lot and cry, a lot of crying, because I wanted it to be better.
Over 30 years later, when we last saw Bonnie at a TV Land reunion, the cast remembered that fight well.
You're the one that was there every day, and you were making sure those scripts were innovative, and having that woman's voice. So
Bonnie also clashed with Mackenzie over the young woman's drug use, as Phillips told Dr. Oz.
She loved me enough to try and make me behave.
No way.
Those were the days.
Jean Stapleton was 90 when she died of natural causes in May.
Archie, I can't let you say that.
All in the Family made Jean a star, but as she told us in '82, when we first met her, fame was never her motivation.
It's a bonus that occurs, but it doesn't change anything.
Chanel number 5. That's their highest number.
But 17 years later, in our last chat, Jean said she did still enjoy the recognition, long after Edith and Archie went off the air.
It's a blessing because I get so much affection.
Would you welcome Mr. Jonathan Winters?
Tonight Show regular Jonathan Winters, who passed from natural causes in April, played Robin Williams' grown son for a season in Mork and Mindy.
Those were good days.
You had access to more medication in those days.
Winters always told us that just making people laugh was his favorite reward.
I never looked for the golden medallion. I'd sure like to see one.
In our last talk in '05, his sense of humor was still intact after a 6-decade career.
I've had a great time. I have no chip on my shoulder, a little dandruff.
Jonathan was awarded the Mark Twain Prize, which goes to Outstanding Humorist in 1999. In our look back at the stars we lost this year, we'll continue with Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, and 2 beloved stars who fought brave battles against devastating diseases, Annette Funicello and famed movie critic Roger Ebert. Don't go away. Welcome back to our special look at the stars we lost in 2013. Roger Ebert was the one film critic everyone seemed to listen to and trust, and he inspired us all with his long, brave fight against cancer. But ultimately, this horrible disease was just too much to overcome. Roger Ebert! Roger, of course, was famous for his thumbs up, thumbs down reviews.
I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Ebert passed away in April, less than 48 hours after the 70-year-old had revealed he once again had been diagnosed with cancer. It had been 7 years since thyroid cancer robbed Roger of his chin, jaw, and voice. We first met Ebert in '86 with TV partner Gene Siskel, Roger with his always dry sense of humor.
We were not cast for this show because we are handsome. We were not, I'm sorry, Gene, you weren't.
In 2011, for our last interview, Roger used a text-to-speech voice decoder to communicate with Brooke.
Tell me about your new reality.
I eat and drink through a G-tube. I'm never hungry, but I miss cooking food.
In his last years, Ebert's wife of 20 years, Chaz, was often by his side, speaking for Roger.
It's electric, right? What do you think about it? Good. Yep.
Plainly, Roger approached his disability with humor and grace.
There is no use denying illness. Remember the famous last words at the end of Some Like It Hot?
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Roger made such an impact. A bronze statue is on the way near his hometown in Champaign, Illinois, that will show Roger giving his famed thumbs up. But we lost another star this year to a vicious, debilitating disease. Annette Funicello's battle with multiple sclerosis showed the true depth of her courage.
Annette!
It was Annette's dancing at a recital that helped her first land that Mouseketeer job.
I was 12 years old, and a man by the name of Walt Disney was starting up a show called the Mickey Mouse Club. He was in the audience watching me dance, unannounced.
At our first interview in 1984, Annette revealed how close she came to not getting hired.
They had seen about 10,000 kids, I was told, and they were going to pick 24, and I was the 24th.
Because we like you.
Annette died from complications of MS in April. In our last interview in '98, with Mary and husband Glenn Holt by her side, dancing was still in her thoughts.
I just want to dance.
Dancing did seem to run deep in Annette. In the 60s, it was with Frankie Avalon. In 87, she reunited with Frankie in Back to the Beach, and we were on that set.
There are still so many that come up to me and say, "Where are your ears?"
That same year, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. She kept it a secret. 3 years later, for a tour, she reunited with Frankie.
It's comfortable, and Frankie and I have worked together a lot.
Dancing her heart out on stage, but appearing a little unsteady coming off, Annette's ailment was still a secret to most. 2 years later, she went public.
My balance is off to a point where if I don't have my cane, people think I'm drunk.
And the year after that, Annette was in a wheelchair.
Helping people to live each day to the fullest despite their disability is real important to me.
And that will always be Annette's legacy, helping people live their life to the fullest.
Is there anything you'd like to just look into the camera and say to everybody, Annette?
Fans of Annette and the Mouseketeers will remember another star we just lost. Dick Dodd, who was also the lead singer of the Standells, died the day after Thanksgiving. And it seems only fitting we saved our last tribute for the man who commanded respect as Tony Soprano. Hollywood was shocked this year by the untimely death of James Gandolfini. From that moment in 1999, when James, as Tony Soprano, first emerged from the Lincoln Tunnel heading to North Jersey, Gandolfini himself emerged as one of the iconic actors of his generation.
Isn't that what you said one time? Try and remember the times that were good?
A gig?
Yeah.
Never much for interviews, in 2003, James did admit to career insecurities even after winning a SAG award.
Was there a time when you thought, maybe I've made the wrong choice?
I still do that every day. Every day I still think that.
But as suddenly as Tony's end came to a Journey soundtrack in 2007,
Don't stop.
This June, seemingly just as suddenly, we lost James.
The attempts to rescue failed. Patients formally died.
Gandolfini reportedly became ill while staying at a luxury hotel in Rome. His 13-year-old son Michael found him in the bathroom of his suite and called for help. James died an hour later. The confirmed cause, heart attack.
Yeah, it's a huge loss. He was hilarious, but two, a ferocious actor. I mean, like Brando good.
Go get him!
Brad Pitt acted in 3 films with James. Steve Carell co-starred in The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Well, he was a great guy. Obviously, really sad time.
At James' New York funeral, his son Michael and widow Deborah Lynn. His soprano family led by Edie Falco, followed by Jamie Lynn Sigler and Michael Imperioli. A tough soprano on camera, James told Inside the Actors Studio that the role often troubled him on the inside.
The violence turns my stomach sometimes. I mean, there's some days I'm like, oh man. But it's real.
Have you ever had any comments from genuine wise guys about the authenticity of the show?
Yes. I wore shorts. I think maybe the pilot or something. What are you gonna do? Go Henry Hill on me now? And he said, Don never wears shorts. Never. Look, it's a beautiful day.
What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Take over for a while. I'll be right back.
James is gone, but definitely not forgotten. December 1st was christened James Gandolfini Day in his hometown of Park Ridge, New Jersey, and many of his former castmates were in attendance. And now in tonight's Entertainment Tonight birthdays, which lost star attended a prestigious ballet school to become a classically trained dancer? Was it Josh Holloway, Daniel Day Kim, or Emily the Raven? Your answer's next in the ET Birthdays. Every day, billions of people around the world are talking to each other. Facebook, over 1 billion and counting. Twitter, 550 million and growing. Now, Entertainment Tonight really gives you something to talk about every day. What was your favorite Paul Walker movie? Entertainment Tonight on Facebook. ET Online Alert on Twitter. Add your voice to our conversation. In tonight's Entertainment Tonight birthdays, Eva LaRue turns 47. And which Lost star attended a prestigious ballet school to become a classically trained dancer? That is Emily DeRaven, who turns 32 today. Well, thank you for joining us as we remember the stars we lost this year. We will always be able to enjoy the great work they left behind. So we're going to leave you tonight with one of Glee's biggest highlights, Cory Monteith singing Don't Stop Believing. Good night, everyone.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going